welcome back. I'm Mandy, the Handmade Homeschooler, and today I'm going to do a curriculum review for the Apologia's Who is God series. Now I'm only doing the first one in the series because that's the only one we've done so far, but I do plan on getting some extras. So before we get into the video, make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure that you hit the little bell so you can be sure to get all my updates as soon as they post. So for this series, we've been doing this for Bible on and off for about a year now, but we've really been more consistent with it, I think, this year than last. And I want to say, I think it's a really great addition to a morning basket. So we've kind of adopted the whole morning basket thing through the Charlotte Mason homeschool curriculum ideas, and we really enjoy it. And this has been such a great addition. Now, yes, I also do this in addition to master books, apologetics mini courses, and those I do for my youngest. I want to say that it's something that I think that you can build upon. So this kind of lays foundational work during the morning time, but for master books, specifically the Kinham Answers in Genesis. Sorry guys, it's early. The Answers in Genesis curriculum for Bible. That is an actual separate course for both of my kids, and they have one for older students for like 9th grade and above, and then they have one for elementary. My youngest is doing the elementary, and he does do that in addition to this, and we really like both of them, and one is not better than the other. I think that they both deal with different things. So the Kinham one, especially the younger version, it deals more with questions that elementary age kids would have about God, the Bible, creation, all kinds of things. This book really lays the foundational groundwork of who God is, what the Trinity is, and it explains salvation as well, and it's all interwoven through these building block lessons. So both of my kids can do this together, which is a huge bonus because there are two different notebooks, and I'm going to show you. So just like a lot of Apologia's stuff, we have the notebooks that go with it. So here's the junior one. And we don't do all of the activities in here. I don't really find them necessary, especially because we're doing this more as a morning basket type of read aloud. And we really read it with my husband because he likes to be the one who does Bible with them. We really have a lot of family discussions afterwards. So there's coloring pages, there is fill in the blanks, and each lesson will have some type of assignment to go with it, and the assignment, based on if your child is in the junior notebook or in the regular notebook, their assignments will differ, and they will be the same theme, and they will still deal with questions or things that they need to understand throughout the lesson that they just read, but it will be on more of a level for their understanding. So in the junior notebook, there's a lot of coloring, there is a lot of fill in the blanks, there is word searches and all kinds of things in that. There's the same thing in here, but obviously there's less coloring, there's more thoughtful questions and answers. So instead of fill in the blank, they're going to be actually writing out answers in here, which is good. And you could kind of get whether or not they grasped the what they just read by their answers in here. So another thing in here is this is where the lesson plans are. The lesson plans are not in the text. So if you just buy the textbook, you're not going to get the page numbers that you need to read each day. So I find that very helpful for these notebooks, and actually I use the notebooks for that more than anything else, because I feel like discussing it as a family is really, really important. So I want to make sure that they understood what was just read to them, or if they read it on their own, it's important to know that they understood the text. So I make sure that they understand it. And if we have time during morning basket, then they'll do these. And you can see that my kids did fill out quite a bit of their notebooks. So we are almost through with it. And I do think I'm going to get the second book for our morning basket. And this lays the foundational work for our morning basket. So in our morning basket, we will have an assignment out of here that we will all read together. And then we will also go into whatever the theme for the basket is. Now, because of my illness, I know I haven't done a morning basket video in quite a while, but I'm hoping that after I recover from my surgery in about a month or so, we will be able to pick up morning basket again for the second half of the year. So it is a great foundational point for not just my morning basket, but also it's a great way to start out the morning, and it's a great way to start talking to your kids about the hard stuff, because sometimes we don't always know how to talk to them about God and the Trinity and what that all means, and kids have a lot of questions, and I feel like this book does a really great job of answering those questions and expanding upon them, and not just answering them, but explaining why. Because I know it's really hard to explain things like the Trinity, right? So this book really goes into detail. I think there's an entire chapter. So you spend like an entire month on just learning about the Trinity and how it all works together. And inside of this, I really like some of these things in here. So I want to show you a couple things. So each chapter will have this at the beginning, and it kind of builds, kind of like Legos, but it's building a foundation of who God is, and at the end it will be a large stack. And then all throughout you will have a story of two boys who are learning about God, and you will hear part of their story throughout each chapter. So it's something that builds upon itself. And then you have other things like this, where you will have in the middle of a chapter just extras, and it will go into history. It will go, I think we saw in one a replica of a boat that they would have used back in biblical times. And in others, we learned about how movies have, throughout history, approached the subject of Jesus, and how they have changed throughout the decades. So they've got extra things that are just woven in here that are really interesting and engaging and stuff for you to talk about. And it kind of gives you a launching pad to talking about things from who God is to the gospel. So I believe for Christian parents, this is such a great tool. So really look into this, and if anything, go on eBay and get this book for cheap and see if it's a right fit for you. And if it is, go on Apologia and grab these notebooks. I love the notebooks. I think they're fantastic. We're just more talkers than writers in my house. So it just so happens to be that we use the textbook more than the workbooks. But in your family, you might be a workbook family. And I have found that my youngest really, really likes the word searches and the coloring pages. So a lot of times while we're reading the chapter aloud, he will actually color and listen at the same time. So he is still engaged and he's still hearing us, but his hands are busy. So that is it for this one. Also, just a side note, if you are active duty military, on Apologia's website, you can get a discount on all their curriculum. And I know that because we were active duty military up until a couple months ago. So just a little tidbit for you, military discount. And it's fantastic. I think it's like 30 or 40%, guys. It's huge. So take advantage of that if you can. I think you just have to send an email in with your military ID or something like super simple. So that's it for today, guys. I hope that you guys had a great Christmas, and if you have any ideas or questions for me, pop them down below and I will make sure that I answer them or make a video to answer them. So I will see you all next time, and have a wonderful day. Bye.